Hey everybody, Domestic Blend again, and this video is going to show you a little bit for the Monk. The Monk is an interesting class, another one of those frontline fighters. It's one of the ones, one of the three classes that gets a counter type of resource to kind of play with. All three of those classes are really interesting to play with. The Monk, the Cypher, and the Chanter all get a similar play style because of it, but they get their counters in different ways. And the Monk is interesting because of his. And we're gonna go into this. I don't know what race to pick for a Monk actually off the top of my head. Part of me after Neverwinter Nights 2 wants to pick a dwarf, but I think human might be a good one. Oh no, I've got one. We'll do a godlike for the Monk. We will do the fire godlike. They're interesting, and playing off the Monk's, one of the Monk's major abilities, that'll be interesting. So we're gonna go with a fire godlike. And the reason is Battleforge when reduced below. That might not be the best one for it because the Monk's hard to get down. Like he's another one like the Barbarian that is just hard to get down. We're going to do it anyway, just to showcase the fire godlike. So, pick your body type. We're a Monk. We will stay with human. And the Monk is here. So, Monks, their stats are as such. Stamina and health are 42 plus 14 level, which I do believe is the same as the fighters and the paladins. Yes. And their deflection's average, which is 15. Their melee accuracy is very high. They are they consistently hit. For little I played around with one. Their ranged accuracy is pretty low. They're not really meant to be ranged class, which is fine because their whole mechanic is based around getting hit. And sure, you can have a ranged weapon in your inventory or in your weapon slots just to pop people whenever, you know, moving there isn't an option or what have you. But the class is built around melee, and that is where it really needs to be. And the reason is its resource mechanic, like I mentioned earlier, is wounds. You absorb an enormous amount of incoming damage to generate wounds, a resource that they can use to activate special powers. Wounds are not immediately consumed. Wounds that are not immediately consumed will burn down over time, causing damage to the Monk. Stunning blows. This is standard attack for most Monks in most games. Attacks from the Monk's melee weapons can cause a stun effect and a small amount of damage. It costs 1 wound to do stunning blow. Swift strike costs 2 wounds. And it dramatically increases the Monk's recovery time between attacks for a brief time. In Transcendent Suffering, when Monks have no weapons equipped, their unarmed attacks are exceptionally powerful and continue to increase in damage as they gain level. And then they get Stealth, Athletics, and Survival, but they only get a +1 in any of them. They don't get a +2 like some classes, and 1, and then a +1 in another. They're a little more evened out for their bonuses there. We are going to go middly with might. We'll go a little lower actually. We'll do 15. We're gonna go, yeah, we'll go middly with Constitution, and I want to go kind of high in Dex because they're already fairly. The way their fists scale, they already do solid damage in my opinion. They don't need a whole lot. But, I mean, this increases damage anyway, so it's two sides of the same coin. We'll toss a point there. And then once again, we're probably going to lose some of that resolve. And if you can hear that, I apologize. My dog is chewing on a bone, and it is loud. And these are the head slots for the fire godlike. Once again, I don't believe you can. No, you can't pick hair. You can't change colors here. This looks like something out of a Japanese video game. It's pretty cool. It looks like something out of Tekken. I don't know why I think that. But anyway, we are moving on. We're going to go with a standard head for a fire godlike, which there's only one in the game right now for male. So there we go. And actually, we'll do that in this video. We'll show off the female. I haven't gone very far into the character portraits. I don't know if any other videos have shown that, so these are some of the character portraits. You can pause it and look at them in more in depth. And we're back. Oh, went too far. So now and before I hit done, I'm going to go ahead and show you this. It's the wounds trait. You take negative 20 raw damage over 10 seconds. Stunning blow, we've gone over. Transcendent suffering, I mentioned. Gives you a +2 unarmed damage at level 1, but it goes up as you level up. So, and it's per level. So it's your punches get and kicks get really hard. They get to where they hit really hard. And Swift Strikes gives you a +1.4 attack speed for a brief period of time. And those are the abilities we're going to start level 1 with. And we're going to show you everything as we level. Makes sense to have. We're just going to pump athletics. In this level we are gaining a +4 to movement speed. It's called Long Stride. It's an in-combat thing, so you move around pretty quickly in combat compared to other classes. And keep on going. And once again, all these are the same across almost every class. Weapon talents to increase accuracy and hold the line to increase engagement limit. Lesser wounds lowers the monk's wound threshold, allowing him to gain wounds at a fast rate. I really like this one. It's probably what I'm going to go with. This one's pretty cool too, though. Causing anyone hit by the attack energizes the monk's Swift Strikes. So if you have that running, you're going to do an additional shock damage to them. So it depends on how you want to play. If you want a more passive play, this will probably do fine. If you want to balance all your abilities around, then that one's the way to go. And I'm not sure. I don't think they have any kind of limit other than your resource, which we'll look at it in a second. But I don't know if they have any per encounter, per rest type abilities. The monk is able to channel physical pain into pure energy and redirect it at his or her attackers. If the monk suffers from a damage over time effect, including wounds, he or she adds a proportional fire bonus to melee damage. So this is a pretty awesome one. Turning wheel. These are the things that really make the monk, other than the way the wounds work, a pretty nasty force to be reckoned with. And we get to this level. These are active abilities that you use with wounds, and requires 2 wounds, or sorry, adds a 0.5 or times 0.5 duration to hostile effects. So all your hostile effects are reduced. Anything on your body that's been done to your person, your player character, is going to get reduced, and it reduces the duration of incoming and existing, so it works 2 ways. It can be reactive or proactive. Transcendent Suffering 2, this is the one that increases our unarmed damage, but notice how it's +4 now. So if I'm guessing how this works, for the first couple of levels, you get a +2 to your attacks, and then from here on out it'll be +4, and if there's a third one it'll be +6 or what have you. So it goes up slowly every level to the point where you're hitting much harder. Just to give you an idea of, oh whoops, wrong button, an idea of how hard we're going to hit, we're doing 16 to 26 crush damage with our fists. Now that's going to be good against a lot of things, but like the fighter's doing less already. Now, sure, we could buy a better weapon for the fighter, but in a couple levels, we're gonna be growing in how much and how hard we hit. And, you know, the fighter's gonna get better weapons too, but it's just the way the monk works. It's more like he scales himself. He doesn't need gear to do it. But, now we have, to go over the active abilities. Oh, and before I start this, let me point out the counter. Here, whoops, down here at the bottom. That 0 is your counter for wounds. So you have a bunch of abilities. See, these don't have any kind of per rest or anything. They only require wounds. So you've got 2 that require 1 wound and 1 that requires, or 2 that require 2 wounds. So you need to just play with that, and you can keep putting on the hurt. It's a very active play style, and I think that makes this class a little different than the barbarian or the fighter, or even the ranger to an extent, because they have a lot of, the fighter's kind of active in that you need to switch modes around depending on what you're doing, but the barbarian and the ranger, the ranger has a limited amount of things he can do every round, whereas the barbarian's more like point and fire with some with a lot of per rest abilities, so you can't burn them all at once. And a lot of them seem to be like, I get more damage over time with the barbarian, whereas this class is, I do this at this moment, and I do that at another moment, which makes it stand out in the melee classes, in my opinion. The paladin's kind of odd in this way. I don't know. The paladin, I'm not sure. I think they have a lot of per rest and per encounter too, actually. This resource mechanic, like I said, the chanters, the ciphers, and the monks are really interesting because of this. Like, incredibly interesting. So, we're gonna move in. I'm gonna try, I need to get the monk in the thick of it, so this might be the first time I don't just drop a nasty AoE in the middle of everything. And I'm actually gonna keep him without range this time, and this time let's do something different with the mage to start this off. We'll do this necrotic lance thing here, and we'll cast her debuff on everybody. Bring the fighter in on this guy.
Yes.
And alright, so I'm gonna get hit. There's that knockdown again. Hold on. Okay, let's not have that blaring in my ears. So the boar hit me pretty hard, but we look at the monk graze is 9.7. That's, or sorry, 4. The monk I hit for, look at that, 31 subtract 10. I did 10 crushing damage. Like, the monk will hit like really hard on a lot of things. We're gonna target this guy next, but I've already built up 2 wounds because of the damage I've taken. So it's just a matter of what I want to do here. I could pop swift strikes, which will increase my attack rate. You know, I have a lot of things I can do here. I'm thinking I'm gonna go with swift strikes. Actually, no, I'm gonna do stunning blow. We're gonna do stunning blow. And it looks like I missed. I didn't. I hit Caldman for 27 damage. So this guy's gonna take a lot of damage. So we're gonna switch. I figured they were coming this way, so I had the rogue on standby for melee. I'm gonna try not to heal the monk so we can see the fire god likes like reactive damage stuff go off. But I am gonna. And look at this. So I should have the fire shield on me right now because I'm below 50% stamina.
Yes.
But now I can do stunning blow. And I did it, and I stunned him. The stun state isn't quite as visible as the IE games, which stinks in its own way. but I'm starting to get kind of, I don't want to die in my presentation here, so we're going to play it safe and get my mind off. I don't know how much damage the monk is going to hit this dwarf for. Oh, and I'm... That's wonderful. I want to show all the abilities off. I'm snared, maybe. Let's see what the... I don't have any wounds. So I guess what I'll do is just try and keep the fighter alive. And that's not assisted damage, guys. Let's try it. Oh, cool. He's getting loose.
Yes.
Okay. But see, the thing is you want the monk to be you want him being attacked, because all of his abilities are fueled from that. So, whereas the barbarian, it's not a bad thing to have. Don't tell me I'm bugged now. Oh, for some reason, it's not. There we go. We're gonna get a big hit. I love this divine mark. That's not it. Holy power, that's what I'm thinking. See, I'm even hitting this guy who had the high DR versus the barbarian really hard, and that's because this guy probably has a high fortitude roll, and since I was attacking his fortitude, I was doing less damage with the barbarian. I'm just crushing him with the monk. But since he doesn't want to seem to focus me. Okay, so
yes.
I'm gonna move the monk in here and move the fighter. Tell you stop shooting. Okay, so the monk's in again. I need the monk getting wounded.
Yes.
Okay, see, I just did... Look at that. Look at that crit. 47 damage. The monk hits really hard. The monk's a really, really powerful class, in my opinion. So I've got 2 wounds, and I've used Stunning Blow, and I haven't used Swift Strikes. And I'm really not going to use this, because there's nothing negative on me right now. Let's see what Torment's Reach looks like. It doesn't look any different than a standard attack, but hopefully this is a placeholder animation, because it's very samey, but I am
going.
I'm impressed. I love how the monk plays. It's fun.
Going.
Like, I mean, I took a lot of stamina damage, but like, you don't take like damage. It feels like at times as much as some of the other classes. But you do take health damage just like the fighter will, but like, and you need a little more monitoring than the fighter does in terms of stamina. But you take less damage simply because that is converted into wounds. But it's a fun class to play, and like I said, anybody that's wanting something different from the Baldur's Gate series, that doesn't use something, they don't want to play a mage because they've never gotten into that style, really look into the Cypher, the Chanter, or the Monk. They're really interesting classes with this mechanic, and they'll have the same counter will be down there for when I show the Cypher and the Chanter off. But that is the gist of the monk at level 5. Hopefully he gets a few more interesting abilities, and continues to be really fun to play. I really like playing them. They're fun. They're really fun. So, hope this was informative for you guys. I wish I could have tried Swift Strikes. I wish they wouldn't have put me on, like, held me for that long. But it is what it is. Beggars can't be choosers.
Very well.
And all that jazz. But I hope you guys found this a good video and found it informative.
Going.
Hope to see next video should be on the Paladin. We'll continue to the Priest after that. And you guys have a good day. And I will be back soon.